Very next hand, we're dealt King 8 of spades in the hijack once again because the button doesn't move after a bomb pot. I raised it 300. The cutoff is a recreational maniac. He 3-bet jams for 2300. Matt Berkey is the only dude at the table crazier than the cutoff. Both players seem to have some personal history, which causes Matt to go after the player in the cutoff with extraordinarily light hands. He cold calls the 3-bet. This exact situation happened previously, except Matt cold called a jam for even more money with 8-6 of diamonds. We're ahead of Matt's range. I'm happy to mix it up. I call for 2,000 more in position to give some action. When you're in these private games, it's important to get involved as much as possible, and that means occasionally doing it in situations like these. 3 of us are seeing the flop with the cutoff all in. It comes Queen Jack 6 with 2 spades. We've got a flush draw with 1 over and a backdoor straight draw. Berkey checks. I doubt that he has pocket queens or jacks, otherwise he would have 4-bet to isolate the cutoff. It's currently a dry side pot. I'd like to change that in case we can hit a spade. I take a small stab for 1300. I imagine Berkey will fold pocket pairs below a jack that didn't improve. He calls, meaning he's either got a draw or a queen or jack of some sort. The turn is the king of diamonds, putting another flush draw on the board. Berkey checks, the Broadway draw gets there, as does 10-9, so we could be drawing slim or dead. I don't want this pot to blow up too much. We need to make sure that we see a river card. I check back. The river is the 8 of diamonds. We drill 2 pair, but the backdoor flush draw gets there. Berkey can have all sorts of combos that have us beat, so I'm not incredibly excited when Matt bets 7,000. He could have a hand like Queen Jack that we're beating, but that might be it. I just can't get away, even though I don't love seeing the large bet size. I call anyway. Berkey was obviously going for value with a strong hand, but we have the winner.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Brad.
Our read on Berkey pre-flop is correct. He was going after the cutoff light. We had him crushed and get a fortunate run out to not only win 5 figures from him, but we also beat the cutoff who jammed with ace-queen offsuit. He's not happy that he lost after flopping top-top. We win it all to now be up 5,000 on the day. We're dealt Jack 10 suited in the big blind with a straddle to 200 on. Berkey raises to 1,000 from the button. We can call or 3-bet. When we're up against a bigger raise size like here, we won't be 3-betting as much, so I call for 800 more. We're heads up out of position. The flop comes 8-7-6 rainbow. We've got a gutter with 2 overs. I check. Even though there's a good flop for our range, Matt isn't letting up. He bets 1,000. We've got enough going on with our hand that we can justify seeing one more card for that price. I call with hopes of drilling the 9 for the nuts. The turn is the jack of clubs instead. We improved a top pair to go along with our straight draw. I check. Matt needs to get revenge. He goes with an overbet sizing of 6,000. He could possibly have a straight, set, or 2 pair, but when he goes this large, it feels like he's trying to get me to fold. Maybe he picked up a club draw or is continuing to blast with any type of non-paired suited combo containing a 9 or 10. I can't let Berkey bluff me off a top pair. I call to see the river, hoping that we can improve. The river is the 8 of clubs. Trip 8s now beats us, but I'm mostly just worried about the flush draws getting there. I check. Berkey considers me to be a generally tight player, so he could potentially give up on his bluffs, or he might be more willing to bluff, thinking that I could overfold. Berkey bets 10,000. The turn bet, we were obligated to call, but the board changed and Berkey is still betting. This would be a good time to get away. After everything I've seen from Berkey in this session and in previous ones, I just can't do it. I call. Berkey flopped the straight with 10-9 of diamonds. He wins a big pot of almost $40,000. I get got hard. I obviously gave away a lot of money that I didn't have to. After adding on for an additional 20,000, we pick up ace-king offsuit in the under-the-gun straddle while we're playing 5-handed. We're in for 50,000 total and stuck quite a bit. Berkey raises to 500 from the button. We have no choice but to punish him for what he did to us earlier. I 3-bet to 2,000. Matt cold called a 3-bet for more than that with Jack 8 suited previously, so it's tough to envision him folding for a whole lot in this situation when he's in position. He calls, we're heads up, really hoping to hit a pair or better, otherwise this could get uncomfortable. The flop comes Queen 7-6 rainbow. As is often the case when we 3-bet and get called while we're playing out of position, we hit nothing except we've got 2 overs. I still take a stab for 1,200 to keep control of the pot and deny equity from other high card hands that we're ahead of. Although I don't expect to win right now all that frequently. Matt calls to see the turn. The dealer puts out the king of diamonds, giving us top. This is a card that's better for our range and actual hand. I bet 3,000 for value. If the board doesn't change too much, I'll be betting the river as well. Matt isn't letting us have it. He calls. I wonder if he has something like king jack or ace queen that we can continue to get value out of. The river is the 5 of clubs. Aside from 9-8 getting there, it's essentially a blank. We're going to go for it again. I bet 7,000. I've already attempted multiple bluffs against Berkey today. He knows that I don't always have to have it, but he tank folds. We win a large pot. I choose to let Berkey know that we were betting for value. The 7 deuce game is on, so Berkey doesn't initially like it when he sees that I'm flipping my cards over because he thinks that he got bluffed and he's going to have to pay me an additional $300.
No! Show him the cheese. Oh, nice. I had ace 7.
Berkey was contemplating calling us with third pair. It would have been great if he found the call so that we could have been $7,000 richer. Instead, we make do with a pot that's quite a bit smaller, but still solid. We pick up king 3 suited in the small blind during a 3-handed bomb pot. The flop comes 9-4-3 rainbow. We've got bottom pair and a backdoor flush draw. I check. The big blind takes a stab for 300. It doesn't mean anything. You could have all sorts of hands that we're potentially ahead of. The button calls. We can't be folding a pair with the price that we're getting. I call. All 3 of us are advancing. The turn is the 8 of diamonds. I check. No one loves what they're holding too much. The big blind and button check as well. The river is the 3 of diamonds, giving us trips. It's very possible that one or both players checks for pot control on the turn with a hand that they want to get to showdown with. We can't allow this to check through again. I bet 2,500 for value and to punish non-believers. The big blind folds. The button snap calls. We turn over our trips. We've got the best hand and we get paid. The button is in disbelief that we hit such a beautiful river card. He reveals that he river trips as well. We smash the case 3 to get all the money. Our overbet works out well. We're running great 3-handed. Remember, we're in for 50,000 total, and right now we've got 49,300 in front of us. We're basically even. We look down at ace 8 offsuit in the big blind. The button raises to 300. We have an easy decision with what could be the best hand. I call. We're heads up out of position. The flop comes deuce, deuce, deuce. Usually when that happens, it's going to be a rainbow flop as it is here. I check. This is a much better flop for the button as the pre-flop aggressor. He can have all the overpairs, and he knows that we won't have any of the high ones. He bets 200. Ace high is way too strong to fold. I call to see what develops. The turn is the 6 of hearts. It's a blank. I check. The button goes way larger with a bet of 1,400. It's kind of a nightmare. Does he actually have us beat with an overpair like he's representing, or is he leaning into his range advantage with a bluff? If he's bluffing, which he should be doing a lot, he's not going to be doing it with better ace high hands. He's going to be doing it with hands that have little to no showdown value, like queen highs and worse. It's too likely that he's got air. I call to go to war. The river is the 9 of hearts. The backdoor flush draw gets there that we have removal for, but that doesn't matter because with 3 deuces on board, it's easy for the opponent to have a full house like he's been representing. I check, really wanting to see a check back so that we can get our ace high to showdown. We don't get the check back. The button unloads the clip with a bet of 4,000. He's representing deuces full of 9s or better. Mostly, he's representing an overpair. Like I mentioned before, we've got to fight for pots when we're 3-handed and things don't feel right. I call. The button has pocket 10s for a very strong full house with his overpair to the board. We pay him off. In hindsight, it's easy to wish that we folded to the turn bet, but when you're in the middle of the game, scrapping for each pot, not everything is as clear. It cost me a lot of money and causes me to be back down a good chunk. Here we pick up queen jack offsuit in the small blind. The button raises to 300. I call for 200 more to see the flop. We're heads up out of position. It comes queen jack deuce rainbow. We flop an absolute monster with our 2 pair. I check. It's a great flop for the button's range. He puts out a continuation bet of 500. There isn't a ton to be worried about other than straight draws. I consider check raising, but instead I call to slow play. The turn is the jack of spades, giving us the second nuts. I check. This may be too good of a card for us and our range after we check call the flop. It's going to slow the button down. He checks back, which he might do with some queens. The river is the 7 of clubs. It's a beautiful brick. We still have the second nuts. As long as we're not up against pocket queens, we'll have the winner. We've got to punish the button if he checks back with a queen. I bet 3,200. It's a large overbet, which we'd have the green light for with a lot of misdraws after the opponent checks back the turn. The opponent isn't folding. I can't expect him to raise us since we've got the whole board covered and we went big. He's taking his time with this decision. I just want to see a call so that we'll be completely out of the hole. I've been aggressively fighting for pots to continuously increase our stack in some smaller hands before this one, so we're almost even again. The button just can't find the call. He reaches for a stack. He's not grabbing calling chips though. He puts in a raise to 10,700. I wasn't anticipating that at all. Maybe he rivered a full house with pocket sevens, or maybe he has queens full. We're not going to call with the second nuts. The opponent only has 11,000 remaining in the stack. We have him covered. I jam for 21,700 effective. If we're beat, we're going to get snap called. We fade the snap, so we for sure have the best hand. Now we have the tough task of trying to get paid by worse. It's difficult for the opponent to think that pocket sevens could even be good here unless he gives me credit for being a complete lunatic. I made some wild plays in my day, and the fact that I'm 9 hours into a session makes me all that much more capable of doing something insane. I couldn't be rooting for a call more. There's no snap fold, so he has to have something with value. After 4 full minutes of tanking, the opponent finally folds. I like the guy, but I can't show him this one. There's too much in the middle. I return my cards face down as we win a pot of over $23,000 towards the end of our session. We've grinded so hard today. We were stuck piles, we got out of the hole, then we were stuck piles again, all before getting out of the hole here. Now we're up several $1,000s with this one coming towards us. I play it for another 40 minutes, but I'm exhausted. The whole session length is over 10 hours. It's time to rack up a win of $8,550.